All right, teams that can clinch a playoff berth this week. There aren't that many. Just
Amazing.
3 of them, the Cardinals, the Packers, and the Buccaneers. It just shows you how crazy this season is. It's going to be down to the wire for so many of these teams, and all 3 of them are in the NFC, not the AFC. The AFC is a wild, crazy, mad scrum, and every week is going to mean more and more. We welcome in MDS, who joins us for the weekly awards segment. We do it every Tuesday. MDS, first, hello, and second, you are up. We're going to get right to it. Offensive Player of the Week.
I got Gardner Minshew. He played extremely well in his first start as an Eagle on Sunday, completing 20 of 25 passes for 242 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Yeah, it was against the Jets, okay, but hey, they play who's on the schedule. Minshew played very well, and I just think the Eagles made a great move when they traded for Minshew before the season, giving up only a 6th-round draft pick to the Jaguars. I question why the Jaguars were so willing to give him up for so little. Minshew's 25 years old. He's under contract for less than $1 million a year, both this year and next year. And when given an opportunity, both in Philadelphia and in Jacksonville, he has shown real talent. The Eagles say there's no real quarterback controversy and Minshew will go back to the bench as long as Jalen Hurts is healthy. But hey, even if he's just a backup quarterback, he's a backup quarterback who has real promise, I think.
It's not very often that we give a Player of the Week award to a player on a losing team, but I thought George Kittle deserved that. I mean, I had that game, and he was absolutely dominant in that 30-23 loss to the Seahawks. 12 targets, 9 catches, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had never had, I was stunned, he had never had more than 1 touchdown in a game. It was the best game of his career. He also had a 5-yard run. Just outstanding, 109 yards after the catch. He had a 48-yard touchdown that was spectacular down the sideline. Just a great effort in a losing effort, but he did everything he could to help the 49ers win that game.
And we know athletes are superstitious. I think that George Kittle needs to hope that a fan shows up for every game with a sign that says George Kittle wishes he was Grom with an M, Kowski, and he finds that fan and signs that sign. Then he unleashes a Gronkowski-like performance. For me, it's Kyler Murray. Welcome back, Kyler. Remember when he first had that injury? Oh, he's not going to miss any time. Oh, it's just going to be 1 game. Oh, he's going to be back. He missed a month, and he was phenomenal against the Bears, who look a little like the Broncos right there. But 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs as the Arizona Cardinals went back to Chicago, one of their former homes, and played like the team that plays in the elements on a regular basis. So congrats to them. Defensive Player of the Week time. MDS, you're up.
Well, as Charean mentioned, we usually don't pick players on losing teams, but I've been wanting to mention Bengals defensive end Trey Hendrickson for a while now. On Sunday, he had a sack against the Chargers. He now has at least 1 sack in 8 consecutive games, which is the longest active streak in the NFL. You know, Hendrickson had 13.5 sacks last year for the Saints, but they were in such rough salary cap shape that they just couldn't afford to re-sign him. And when he hit free agency, the Bengals made an aggressive offer for him. He has emerged as one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
I don't know what else we say about T.J. Watt, but we couldn't leave him off this list, as outstanding as he was with those 3.5 sacks, 6 tackles, 6 quarterback hits, a forced fumble. Perhaps his best play, I assume, didn't even show up in the stat sheet, and that was on the 2-point conversion when he completely changed the way Lamar Jackson threw that ball. He had a wide-open receiver and couldn't hit him because of T.J. Watt, but I do think he's in that conversation to become only the 3rd defensive player to win the MVP award. We've got to at least mention him in there, and I do think he will get some votes the way he's playing right now.
Yeah, just phenomenal, and made that surprise return from the COVID list to be a huge difference maker in that game and disrupted the 2-point play in addition to the 2.5 sacks. I got Carlos Dunlap from the Seahawks. What a game that they had. What a performance that they desperately needed as things were crumbling. And he had a sack of Jimmy Garoppolo for his safety, and then he batted down the critical final pass of the game, the last-ditch effort by the Seahawks to tie the game up. And I can't help but wonder whether they would have gone for 2 if they had scored. You know, you had 2 division rivalries playing out, 2 bitter rivalries at the same time. and, potentially the same result if there hadn't been that batted pass. And there's the Dunlap wearing number 8 sack of Jimmy G. So great week for Carlos Dunlap and the Seahawks for a change. Rookie of the week, MDS, who you got?
I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown, the rookie receiver for the Lions, who scored the game-winning touchdown on Sunday. One of the reasons I don't like tanking is that I think you can not really develop your young players in an atmosphere where you're not trying to win. And I think Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Lions is a young player they're developing the right way by putting him in competitive situations where he has an opportunity to help them win games. We know the Lions stink. They're probably still going to get the first overall pick in the draft. But I respect the way they're playing hard, beating teams that are still competing for playoff spots like the Vikings, coming close to beating some other teams, as we've seen, that are competing for playoff spots. They tied the Steelers. They were very close against the Ravens. They've had competitive games against good teams. I think that's how you develop young players like my rookie of the week, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Rams linebacker Ernest Jones, that was only his 5th career start, and he played outstanding. 3rd-round pick, 9 tackles. 5 of those were run stops, 3 tackles for loss, half a sack, a pass defense. He was really, really good. He went and covered 7 times and only gave up 13 yards total in those 7 times in coverage. They benched Troy Reeder to play Ernest Jones, and I think they found something. He played 56 of 59 snaps and played really well. So he's helped their defense, and that Rams defense now might be back, Mike, now that they've gotten a little juice in them. They need Von Miller to play better, though.
You're going to think that I'm messing with you with my choice, but I mean this. Mac Jones of the Patriots, just the fact that there's never a question, there's never an issue. He's going to do whatever they tell him to do, even if the game plan is you only throw 3 passes. You have to execute the handoffs flawlessly all night long. And, hey, even with the game on the line, he didn't have any screw-ups. He didn't have any blunders. He did everything he was supposed to do all game long, and he never would be a guy who would make a face about it or have a bad demeanor about it or an attitude about it. He is already the consummate Stepford Patriot, doing everything that his overlords want him to do, including, and this was the kicker for me, Peyton Manning had him on the phone. Peyton Manning, who talks to the quarterbacks of the games that Peyton and Eli broadcast with the alternate feed on ESPN2, the Manning cast. And Mac Jones says to Peyton, I'm sorry, I want to do this, but can you check with Stacey James, the PR director, first to make sure it's okay? And Stacey told Peyton, respectfully, no, we really don't want to do this. Mac Jones, just the veteran presence of mind, understanding everything that it takes to be a full-fledged Patriot, for better or worse. Maybe he'll tolerate it for 20 years and finally blow a gasket and want to go play for someone else. But he is already fully indoctrinated into the Patriot way. And I say that somewhat jokingly, but also, if you want to make this offense go and you want to make this team go, the key ingredient is not just a quarterback who can do what you need him to do with the football. He needs to be the right guy to carry himself the way that they want, to say what they want him to say and not say what they don't want him to say. And I think that's a critical ingredient in where the Patriots are and will continue to be. Coach of the week, MDS, you're up.
I'll stick with the Patriots, and I'll name not Bill Belichick this week, but offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels, who had such a unique approach to play calling on Monday night. He only called for Mac Jones to throw it 3 times. And, I actually think some people today have been overstating a little bit how dominant the Patriots run game was. I mean, actually, just a couple weeks ago, the Colts had an even more dominant run game against the Bills than the Patriots had on Monday night. But really, Josh.
I think we're losing MDS, or we lost. There he is. Is he there?
We're going to do what.
Charean, why don't you go ahead? Right, there he is. Did
you lose me?
We got you now.
We did.
Okay. So, I think that Josh McDaniels just said with his play calling, we're going to do what we want to do, keep doing it over and over and over again. I like that kind of play calling it, just saying we've got our priorities for our team. We're going to call our game the way we want to call it. That's what Josh McDaniels did.
Well, I'm going to go with Dan Campbell, and it's for all the reasons that you said, MDS. This team is still playing hard. They're still playing tough. You saw how much that victory meant to them just from on the sideline. You question Dan Campbell, and I am sure he's been questioned and will be questioned even more for the series before that. The fact that they went for it on 4th down at their own 28, they're late. But this is a team that's playing to win. I mean, they know where they are in the standings. They know what their role is as an underdog, and they're doing everything they can to win games. I love that. I love this team. I love Dan Campbell, and I'm so happy that they got their first victory, that they are not going to go over this year. They, of course, had the one tie. But I think this was big for Detroit and big for this team to take that step. And of course, dedicating the game and giving the game ball to Oxford High School was just a cherry on top for Detroit this week.
I'm going to go with Mike Tomlin. I think he made the right moves coming out of an embarrassing loss to the Bengals in Cincinnati with the padded practice on Wednesday. There was an interview of Tomlin that dropped on the Steelers' website on Sunday morning, which I thought was kind of odd, but there was some stuff in there that helped you understand why he took the approach he did, and he had some great X's and O's stuff about the cat and mouse game that you get into with a team like the Baltimore Ravens. Look, he put together a game plan, both sides of the ball, and he got the most out of his players in order to get a critical victory to keep them alive for a playoff berth at a time when everyone had written them off. And I said it all week. I didn't have the guts to pick them to win, but I said all week, I've lived in and around Pittsburgh my whole life, and I'm never going to doubt them again. When everyone is throwing dirt on the Steelers, that's when they are the most dangerous.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.